Broke it up. Not Michael Watson. Good morning to the Secretary of State. How are you, sir?
I'm well, my friend. How are you?
I'm okay. Is everything in the home quarters okay, and everybody's behaving themselves?
Man, everybody's good. And real quick, good morning, Lauren and Gracie Pierce and Annie Corbett. As you know, I have to get that out of the way. And,
yeah.
My oldest child, Gracie Pierce, has become quite the bass fisher woman. So
Is that right?
we've had a good time.
What's the biggest?
She called me the other day. It's probably right around 3.
That's pretty
scared
good.
to death, but it was a good time.
A 3-pound bass to a child like that will give them a heck of a fight. It's like a shark.
No doubt.
All right, I want to talk about the census first of all, then we'll get into the other things here. But this is, and again, it's worrying a lot of people, certainly everybody attached to any agency or of a government, nonprofit, or profit for that matter, that deals with the state in one way or the other, as far as making sure we get our full potential on the census and not having this virus kind of waylay us on that. Your thoughts?
That's exactly right, Paul. And you'll remember back in 2000, we lost a congressional seat, and that's our voice in D.C. So people need to pay attention to this. And then in 2010, over 265,000 Mississippians went uncounted. So it's incredibly important. The federal dollars that flow from this, and this is constitutional. When my conservative friends start asking questions, it's constitutional. You remain anonymous, and your information is sealed for 70 years. It's only used for statistical purposes. So those are good points to get out there. Mm-hmm. But again, the federal dollars for roads and bridges, for education, for health care, incredibly important for our state, as well as the redistricting piece.
I read something many years ago that Mississippi and people in the South, and I think if it's the people in the South generally as indigenous to the South, we would probably be the lead on that list. We're more reticent than anybody else to sign these things in the past simply because we didn't trust the government. We didn't want to give them any information. And when we were doing that, we probably are undercounted and have been for a long time.
That's exactly right. And again, to point that out, your information, you go in anonymous. It's by your address. Obviously, they could look you up if they wanted to, but they don't use it in that manner. They use it only for statistical purposes, and it's kept secret for 70 years. And I will say this, Paul. I saw a tweet yesterday from the U.S. Census Bureau saying that Mississippi was leading the Southeast in voluntary responses. So we're doing a great job so far, and I credit Giles Ward, our good buddy, and the work that they've been doing over the Mississippi Census part, and then as well as Secretary Husband, now Lieutenant Governor, was engaged in this process, and Governor Bryant saw it coming from a mile away. So he really started the process back in the fall, and just appreciate all their hard work and what they're doing. It's paying off.
Michael, just to give us some bearings on this one, where are we now? I got mine, Perez has got his. Does everybody have their form in the mail already in the state?
They should by now, and we're up to about 34-35% voluntary response. A lot of folks have gotten that. I will say this, though. I talked to my niece the other day, and Kayla said, Michael, I didn't get anything in the mail. So I directed her to go online at 2020census.gov, and she was able to fill it out. Same thing yesterday. Jim McInville from Ingalls sent a text. He said, man, I didn't get anything in the mail. So just because you didn't get anything in the mail, you can still participate online, which I encourage you to do. They have suspended field operations, obviously, with COVID. So folks won't be knocking on your door, so don't worry about that. But you can do it online, you can do it by mail, or you can do it on the telephone. So those are 3 easy ways to do it. And again, it takes about less than 10 minutes. I did mine 2 weeks ago. Less than 10 minutes. It's roughly 10 questions, and it impacts us for the next 10 years. So
That's it. And if you get a question wrong, I know my wife belabored over one of the questions because it was a little ambiguous. And I said, I don't think there's a test on here. You're not lying about it. You're just confused. So, you do it to the best of your ability, but you also do it as truthful as possible, too.
That's exactly right, Paul. They're not grading you on your getting everything 100% accurate as long as you're trying your best, giving the best information that you know, you're going to be just fine.
The other part of that is, why didn't some people get theirs and some people did?
Yeah, so that's a great question, and one for like Jim McInville, talking about him earlier. Jim has not moved recently, so I'm not sure what happened with the mail system. I know for my niece, she was they're having some issues receiving mail just in general, so I think hers got tied up somewhere. But you may not have gotten it because of something with the Postal Service. They don't have the greatest reputation, but I appreciate the good work that they do when they do get the good work done. So you may have missed it in the mail. You may have been connected to some other envelope and you threw it away. Who knows? But again, you can go online. And the only thing with the mail is they send a code in and you can put your code in. It populates your response with your address, so it just knocks out a couple of steps. So not that big of a deal if you did not get it in the mail.
Well, the good news is we got more time to do this now than we've ever had.
Absolutely.
And look, we're at home.
Not us.
Yeah. Not us. No. Listen, we're working every single day. We're going to the office. So Perez and I, we've done our duty.
Hey, look, I appreciate your good work. We're doing the same here at the Mississippi Secretary of State's office. Hadn't seen a drop in responses to Mississippians, and we're still working hard for you. Maybe a little bit of a telework, but that's okay.
All right.
But I encourage folks to go to the 2020census.gov, and if you have questions before that, the mscensus2020.org website, where there's a big question about college students, where they're counted. The information that we're getting is if you live on campus, the universities and colleges are supposed to count you. If you live off campus in an apartment or house or something like that, then you should count yourself. And it depends on where you live for the majority of the year. So we want all Mississippi students to be counted. That's important for us as we go forward.
So right now with the quarantine going on, does that play into it from current status or what your normal status would be after the quarantine?
Right, and that's the question. That's caused the big concern about college students. Well, look, my child is at home. Should I count him or her? And no, you shouldn't. If they are a full-time student and going to a university or college here in Mississippi and live on campus or off campus, but not in your house, again, that's when you revert back to the rules. If they live on campus, the universities and colleges are supposed to report them. If they live off campus, then they should fill out a census form themselves.
That easy.
That's
all right. Your thoughts on where we are as far as businesses in this state and what's going to happen? I mean, who knows?
Yeah, you're right. Businesses are going through a tough time, obviously. We were at a meeting yesterday with the governor and was talking about the unemployment numbers that are skyrocketing. And I've got local businesses, obviously, that always call and ask questions. I'm going to be on teleconference this afternoon with 10 of our local businesses trying to answer questions for them. It's important to understand and know what the SBA has done with their disaster loan assistance, as well as the Paycheck Protection Plan that's coming out and the CARES Act. So just paying attention to what's coming down from the federal level, very important resources for our businesses and local business folks here in Mississippi. And again, I think just being aware of what's going on, being smart with your employees, making sure that they're practicing social distancing, washing their hands, taking care of their families, just the smart, common sense things that we know to do. We're the best in the first line of defense to defeat this invisible enemy, as the president called it. And look, I appreciate yesterday was National Doctors Day, that our healthcare workers, dear gracious.
Oh, man, absolutely. Michael, thank you, sir. We speak as the Wall Street opens, and it's down 174 points, so it's kind of still skittish there, so we'll see what happens.
That's right. Hey, and real quick, Paul, happy birthday to Annie on Sunday. She is turning 7 years old.
Man, you're getting old.
That's right.
All right, man.
God bless us.